Welcome, everyone, to today's Explainer. Today, we are breaking down a highly impressive investment-ready business plan for a company called EE Compass Financial Simulations. If you've ever looked at a business strategy and wondered, how exactly does a company plan to take a really complex, everyday problem and turn it into a highly scalable solution, well, you are in the exact right place. We are going to deconstruct their strategic playbook together, looking directly at the source material they've prepared for their partners and investors. Let's dive right in.
So what happens when traditional investment advice just isn't enough? It's a pretty provocative question, isn't it? And it immediately hits the nail on the head regarding a massive gap in personal financial clarity for the average person. I mean, let's be real. Most of us are just kind of guessing our way through our financial lives, or we're relying on advice that only looks at one tiny piece of a giant puzzle. That lingering anxiety, that total lack of a big picture, that is the exact problem eCompass is set out to solve.
Here is our quick roadmap for today's Explainer. We'll start with the lifetime planning gap, followed by the EE Compass solution. Then we'll look at strategic markets, their three-phase rollout, and finally, scaling safely. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the lifetime planning gap, and what traditional institutions are completely missing.
The strategy document draws this really stark contrast between our current reality and their new vision. On one side, you've got traditional investment advice, which honestly focuses mostly on just selling you products. Most Canadians are getting investment advice, not actual lifetime planning. But on the flip side, we have lifetime financial planning. This is about total financial clarity. It's about empowering people to make highly informed decisions way before they ever hit retirement. It is a massive, fundamental shift from pushing products to planning a whole life.
The crazy thing is, traditional institutions rarely model these absolutely crucial life factors. We're talking about things like wage progression as you move up in your career, or complex inflation scenarios, which, let's face it, is a massive headache for all of us right now. They don't look at how a pension actually integrates into your daily cash flow, or how to optimize government benefits like CPP or OAS. What about the timing of buying a house, or the long-term effects of taxes? Because these things just aren't modeled for the average person, there is a gaping void for everyday people who just want to know, am I going to be okay? That is the exact market void eCompass is going after.
And that brings us to Section 2, the EE Compass solution, complete financial clarity for absolutely everyone.
This quote right here is pulled straight from their positioning strategy, the lifetime financial plan every Canadian should have. It's super punchy, but more importantly, it shows their absolute dedication to making holistic planning both accessible and affordable. They aren't just building a fancy toy for ultra-high net worth individuals. They are building something that they firmly believe every single household desperately needs and should be able to access.
So what does the whole shebang actually look like in practice? Well, the platform delivers deep, year-by-year financial simulations. We're talking full forecasts starting from today all the way through to age 90 and beyond. It comprehensively models your income, your expenses, your taxes, and your total net worth. Plus, it allows for multi-scenario testing, so you can literally see what happens if inflation suddenly spikes, or if you decide, hey, I want to retire 5 years early. And alongside all those raw numbers, they bake in personalized financial education, so you actually understand the data you're staring at. All of this is securely anchored by their 4 core values: accessibility, education, accuracy, and empowerment. The entire solution is just built from the ground up to take intimidating financial data and use it to genuinely empower the end user.
Moving right along to Section 3, strategic markets and partnerships, finding the perfect allies to scale.
Now, take a look at this number, 77,000. This actually represents the BC Teachers Union. You see, EE Compass's strategy isn't just to market to individuals one by one. That takes forever. Instead, they are targeting specific groups with really complex benefit structures, starting with these 77,000 teachers. Union members usually have strong pensions and tricky benefits, which makes them high-value targets for these customized, deep simulations. By locking in group pricing and union partnerships, EE Compass can achieve massive, immediate scale right out of the gate. But wait, they're also totally playing the long game here. The business plan outlines a free program specifically for grade 12 students. Why? Well, to build early financial literacy, of course, which is great for the school districts. But strategically, it creates incredible long-term brand loyalty. They're basically introducing their simulation platform to future users before those students even get their first real paycheck. It's a wildly brilliant way to capture the next generation of users. Then, the document poses a really crucial operational pivot, leading us to this question: why CPA firms and tax preparers?
Think about it. How do you actually process all these complex financial plans without having to hire an absolute army of really expensive full-time financial planners?
Partnering with CPA firms is honestly a stroke of genius. Think about the seasonality of that business. After May, when tax season ends, CPA firms suddenly have massive excess capacity, lots of quiet offices, and their staff are already highly trained to understand complex financial data. So, by partnering with EE Compass, running these simulations becomes a brand new revenue stream for these firms during their slow months. It allows them to offer a premium advisory service to their existing clients without hiring anyone new. And EE Compass, they get a highly trained, scalable contract workforce to process their plans. It is the absolute perfect symbiotic relationship.
Now we hit Section 4, the three-phase rollout, from Excel to AI. This timeline beautifully summarizes their transition. In months 1 and 2, Phase 1, they do an Excel-based launch. This keeps initial overhead practically at zero while they run pilot simulations, get user feedback, and test the workflow with those CPA contract workers. Then, rapidly in months 2 through 6, Phase 2 kicks into high gear. They partner with developers to build an AI-driven, scalable cloud platform to automate inputs and handle complex tax rules. Finally, year 1 and beyond is Phase 3, national expansion, spreading those union partnerships and launching employer programs everywhere. Now here is a detail that absolutely stands out as a massive de-risking factor for any potential investors reading this. That Phase 1 Excel workbook, it's already 90% complete. The databases are already in active development. This isn't just some pie-in-the-sky idea sketched on a napkin. This accelerated timeline shows real, tangible momentum. It drastically reduces the early-stage risk for anyone looking to partner up because, hey, the foundational architecture is basically already built.
And that perfectly sets up our final section, Section 5, Scaling Safely and Mitigating Risks.
A truly great business plan tackles potential pitfalls head-on, and this one certainly does. Worried about software delays crippling the launch? No problem, they mitigate that by starting with the nearly finished Excel model so revenue flows immediately. Anxious about the training quality of those contract CPAs? They're already building a standardized certification program. Lacking market awareness? They've got a grassroots education-based marketing strategy ready to go. And what about competition from basic online calculators? They are leaning hard into their deep, multi-scenario simulations and using those built-in union and CPA partnerships as a massive defensive moat. The preparation here is just phenomenal.
And on top of all that, this scalable CPA contractor model inherently protects their margins. It completely eliminates traditional hiring bottlenecks and overhead. They don't have to carry a massive, bloated payroll year-round, which keeps their initial burn rate incredibly low and ensures total stability as they scale up.
Ultimately, this strategic playbook is a masterclass in identifying a massive market gap and cleverly leveraging non-traditional partnerships to scale up without breaking the bank. It's all about moving from stressful guesswork to complete, empowering clarity. And it all leads back to one final, really provocative question straight from their messaging. Are you ready to see your entire financial life in one simulation?